Hey there, welcome to my channel. This is Aderemi and this is programming with Remy. And welcome to my fourth video about HTML basic. How are you doing? I hope you have been getting yourself engaged with what you have been learning in this bootcamp. I say bootcamp, yeah, it's a bootcamp, right? All right, so today we're going to be looking at HTML list and list. Okay, so now we have different content we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at numbered lists. We're also going to be looking at bullet list, and also we're going to look at definition list. All right, so let me start with my first slide. Now, HTML list are used to present list of information in well-formed and detailed pattern. So there are times on your website that you may need to add list of items or information that all to that categorized together, and you want to put that into lists, right? And to do that, there's a particular HTML elements that are used to do that. So if you look at the example I have in my presentation, I have an example of a snippet tutorial of how to make pancake, and the ingredients are made available in a list, right? And also the method to go about making the pancake is also in a list, right? And I have another item here, which is bread that is defined, right? So this is an example of how you can use lists in your website. So there are times maybe we are building a blog and you want to add some details about maybe a particular term, a particular description of some items, or you are building a landing page for an app presentation. You may need to list some features of the app, right? Or you want to present some galleries of your company board, right? They can put them in a list, right? So there are different usage and different functionalities of how you can use lists in HTML. So let's start with knowing the different type of lists that we have in HTML. So HTML has three different types of lists, right? So the first one that we have is unordered list, and this list is used to create items in no particular order, in the sense that, as the name implied, unordered, that is, it's not ordered, does not mean that it is directionless though, but it means that it's not ordered. That, for example, I have this this is an example of an unordered list. You can see I have this bullets list, and you observe that I don't know which one is the first one. Is unordered, so I can choose to start explaining from the ordered list or description list, right? So that's an example. So also we have the ordered list, and the ordered list used to create a list of rated items in a specific order. So for example, if I said, okay, what does it take to move from here to this point B, you can say number one, you have to get your card, you have to get money, you have to look for transportation means, that second step. So that's example of an ordered list, right? Also we have a description list. Now a description list used to create list of terms and their definition, right? So if you observe this example that I have here is an example of a definition list. All right, so let's go to an example of unordered list. All right, so this is an example of an unordered list. Now, to create an unordered list, we need a particular tag. And if you remember the last video, subsequent videos that we did, we said to create a particular functionalities, or a particular way our document to be defined on our web page, we need to use what we call HTML tags, right? Or markups, or can reference them as also what's HTML elements, right? So we need an HTML element to display our web content in form of a list, and for an unordered list we need to use what we call these UL elements. And if you also remember in subsequent video, we said that HTML tags, they are more of like shorthands, right, in English language, right? So you observe that unordered, this U and L just like UL, right? UL elements, right? So, and it has an opening tag and a closing tag. So that means that my unordered list will be, my list will be between this UL and the opening UL and the closing UL tag, right? All right, so and also to now create list of items, right? Since it's a list of items and it means the item will be listed, right? There's a particular tag I also use for that, which is the li tag. So each item is placed between an opening list and a closing list tag, right? So this is an example, and if you observe the example I have here, I have the ingredients I need to use to make pancake, right? And I have the egg, 2 cups of water, flour, sugar, and this is the results from my browser. So I have the egg, 2 cups of water, flour, sugar. So right now I want to pause this video, right, and try to see how this will be displayed on your browser. All right, so now hope you have done that. All right, so now we're going to be another way that we can also be able to style our list is using CSS, but now we have not started CSS. So in our subsequent videos we're going to be looking at CSS and how to change our bullets to maybe shape different kind of if you observe in Word document, you have different way you can show your list, right, to represent them here. So, and we said I wrote down, I said with the use of CSS list type property, you can change the type of bullet point maybe to circles, squares, diamond, and so on. So we're still going to do that, but for now this is what HTML can offer us in this particular unordered list. All right, so let's go to ordered list now. So now ordered list is more similar to unordered list, but the difference is that it is what order. That's why I said I have 1, 2, and 3, and 4, right? And to create an unordered list, I need the tag OL, which stands for O and L, right? Unordered list, right? And also have an opening tag and a closing tag, and each item is placed between an opening tag and a closing tag, right? And you see that I have egg, 2 cups of water, flour, and sugar, right? Now you observe, and I have the result. So this is an example of ordered list. So also pause this video and try to type this code and see how it will be displayed in your browser. You can have a list of items on your own, different from what I did there, and see if you have the same exact representation on your browser. All right, so also we have looked, okay, we also have ordered list attributes. You know, when we look at attributes, we said attributes are more of like extra information that are used to display our content in a specific way, right? Maybe for example, I want my heading to have a color, I want my heading to have a specific font, maybe I want it to be Times New Roman, which you ought to be familiar with. So we have different attributes. Now for also ordered list, now ordered list have different attributes, and we're going to look at the most common attributes for ordered list. Now the first attribute for ordered list is the start attribute, and this is the name for that attribute, which is called start. And what this attribute does is that with the start attribute you can change the ordered list numbering. Now if you observe, now this is the, and we said, you know, in previous video we said the attribute is placed in opening tag, right? So we have this OL tag right now, we have this attribute name and we have the attribute value, right? And what this is saying to the browser is that I'm going to start numbering this list from the third number, and that's why you see that I have a result 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now another attribute that we can have is called the reversed attribute, and what the reverse does is that the reverse attribute is used to change the ordering number to descending order. So what this does is that, so in here now I want to do something. I want to, instead of putting start, I want to put reverse and see how the browser will display your list. So do that right now, pause this video and do that right now. Okay, so have you done that? You observe that the reverse order, instead of it starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, it starts from 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the reverse order, right? And also we have the type attribute. Now the type attribute is an attribute that defines the numbering type format. So you observe, we say the type attribute is used to change the ordered list formats. For example, this ordered list is in numeric, right? We have 3, 4, 5, right? Then this is what I type. So that means that if I want to have my list in alphabetical order, right, I can have it A, B, C, D, right? So that means that I'll come to my attributes here and I'll put it, instead of start here now, I will put a type, right? And then I'll put the value, which is maybe if I want, maybe I want to be in alphabetical order and I want it to be in lowercase, then I'll put this lowercase of A, right? Or I want it to be in uppercase and I'll put A, right? Or I want it to be in or Roman numeral and I put this, right? So that's an example of type attribute. So I want to lay your hands on this different attributes and apply them and see how your browser will display them. All right, so now also good, let's go to that definition list. Now definition list, DL, is the tag used to create a definition list, and this is not technical, just a little bit of information for you to know. So definition list is created with the DL elements and it usually consists of a series of terms and definitions. So that means that I can have series of definitions in a DL tag. So let's say I want to define I want to define 5 terms, right? I can have them all inside this nest of DL, right? So you can see that I have an open DL and I have a closing DL, and the DL stands for definition list. That's what it stands for, DL, right? Now inside the DL I will have 2 things. I will have one, the definition term and the definition, right? And that's why we have the DT, which stands for the tag for the definition, and this definition tab is created with the DT element. And so as I want to define this time now, so I have the DT and I have the term in between them, and you can see the result here. This is the term and this is the definition, and you see that there's a bit of tab space for the definition to see that this is trying to define this, right? Now to input the definition, now we use the DD tag, which is represented as, I termed it definition data, right? The item or the definition data is created with the DD element, and that's why you see that I have this DD, right? And also have an opening tag and a closing tag. Now this is the first item that was defined, right? Now after this, then we have another item which is scale, right? And it starts with the DT, which is the definition term, and we have the DD, which is definition data, right? And we have this example here. So I want you to pause this video and try to lay hands on these definition list tags. All right, so let's go to our next video. So also we can have an example of list which is called nested list, right? And also you remember in the previous video we look at nested elements, right? Elements in elements. So we can have a list of items that those lists of items also have lists in them, right? So we observe we have this unordered list, right? As an opening tag and a closing tag, and in between this unordered list we have a list of items, right? We have this list, this is the first list and this is the second list, right? And this ordered list has an ordered list inside it, and that's why we see we have another list here and we have his own list here. So this is more of like, you can call this, and if you observe the syntax of how this is being written out, we can call this the parents, right? Which this is, right? And we can call this the children, right? And we can call this UL, we can name it as the grandchildren for UL and the children for this particular protein, right? And we have this. Don't worry, in our next video we're going to look at links and you're going to understand more better what I'm trying to pass across, but for this video just understand what I'm trying to do here. So we can see that we have the results, we have protein and we have egg and beans, but you observe that the way this is represented is different from the showing that this is a sub list under protein, right? Good. All right, so now let's just do a small practical project now, and then you have a class project now. So what I want to do is that I want to use this HTML link idea to create navigation menu for our website project that we are working on, right, as a class, right? And also you have a class project to do. Now the class project I want to do is I want to use this link to create a navigation menu for your class project too, and I want you to use the knowledge of another list and definition list to put items in your blog, and also try to go online on different things you can do with HTML lists, right? So let's kickstart and go to our Visual Studio Code. All right, so now I'm in my Visual Studio Code now. Remember what we did in the last class? We look at this blog and we created this blog, this beautiful blog here. All right, so this is the beautiful blog that we have created though. It's very simple, right? Yeah. All right, so let's go back to our Visual Studio Code now. In my index now, let me show us our index. Okay, before we go further, there's a particular plugin I want us to download. So if you go to your extensions here, if you click on extensions here, okay, if you click on extensions here, you will observe that I have some extension that have been installed in my browser. Now for this video, I'm going to download this extension. Now what I just want you to do, come to this extension is more like a marketplace where you can install different add-ons or plugins to make your coding more interesting. So this, I want to download this live server. So what you do is just come to your Visual Studio Code and search for live server. So, and once you installed it, it will be automatically added to your Visual Studio Code. And what the live server does is that it helps you to have a real-time display of your project. So that means as I'm coding, as I'm writing HTML code, right, I don't want to go back to my document every time to go and pick my index and show me it. I can just view how it's been changed automatically, right, with a live server. So let me try to minimize my screen so that you will understand what I'm saying. So if I come to my minimize here, I want to minimize this into 2 page. Okay, put it at the first page and this at second page. Now I want to observe what I mean by the live server. Okay, so once you have a code here, now go to my file, index, right, and then right click, and then once you install it, you will see open with live server. So if I click open with live server, now can you see that I have the open with live server right here, right? That's the example of open with live server. So that means that once I made some changes in my HTML code, now I can see it directly on my browser. So let me just try to add something. Guess what? Yeah, beautiful. All right, now do you observe that once I type this in, you can see that I have the live result now. That's with the live server that I've installed. So I want to install that now. All right, so for this class project, we want to add we want to use list to add navigation menu to our website. So we want, for example, we have some website that we have landing page websites. So we're still going to explain that right in other videos, but we want to add an home page, about us, contact us, about us to our website, and we're in our home page, which is the index right now. So what we do is that I'll just come to my heading, my body. So I just want to add, to just observe what I'm doing. So I want to use an unordered list, right? So I have an unordered list. Now in another list, I have the list of items, right? So I have the list of items. All right, so now I want to add my list now. So I want to add home. So what I'll do is I'll copy this. All right, so create, copy and paste. So let me create my let me create shop page, like shop. All right, let me create my blog. All right, about us. All right, okay, so let me put my contact us and control save. Now do you observe now that I have my list now available online? So I can, from here, I can navigate to my home, my shop page, my blog, my about us, and contact us. Also, I can also have a list of items in my footer, as you see in major website, that I can say, okay, I have my home, about us, and so many other informations, right? So what I want to do is that I want to practice what you have learned today and put them into, be creative about it and do so many crazy things about it. All right, so let me go back to my slide now. So okay, so this is the class project I want you to do now. So I want to pause this video and try it out. All right, so now today we are going to come to the end of today's class. We have looked at types of HTML list, ordered list, unordered list, and definition list, right? And we said ordered list use numbers, right? Ordered list use numbers. Unordered list use bullets, right? Definition list used to define terminology, and also we have looked at lists that are nested inside another. So we look at element inside another element. All right, so today we are going to come to the end of this class. I hope you have learned something, and a link down below we put there's a link in this video of a short class assessment to test your knowledge on what you have learned, to see if you actually learned something in this class. So you can just click on it and just attempt the question. Nobody's scoring you 0, so just for you to try and learn. So we want this to be structured and for you to learn. So, and don't forget, if you have not subscribed to my channel, you are not doing well. So subscribe to my channel and click on notification bell for more uploads. All right, see you, love you, bye bye.